All America, this is Grandma Sunshine and the World Report with Grandma Sunshine. I would like to talk to you about the concept of disrespecting history, which I feel is a shame. And I am pointing this direction right now to something that an officer who used to be the former British deputy PM, whose name is John Prescott, and I was just shocked what he had compared Gaza to a concentration camp of Nazi Germany of the Jews. Sugar, I am Grandma Sunshine, born and raised in Mississippi as a Southern Baptist. And you might say, what does Grandma Sunshine know about the Jewish history of the Holocaust? And how can you compare, like all these Arab leaders are comparing the Holocaust to what Gaza is going through? And I think it's a shame, Sugar. I think it's a disgrace to history of humanity. And I think it's appalling, and all the language that the UN is using to condemn Israel for having 3,000, in 2014, having 3,000 missiles going every single direction to populated civilian areas in Israel. And the UN doesn't condemn that, and America doesn't condemn that, doesn't give Israel a right to defend itself, even though that the militants are purposely launching missiles from populated areas, knowing that there's no way to stop them unless people are going to get hurt. And then the whole world is just pouring down in Israel like a thunderstorm of rain with hail and fire inside of it. And I think it's a shame for John Prescott to compare. He is just one example, Sugar, of people who lack the respect of history and another human suffering. Gaza people could have stopped all the suffering by stopping sending missiles to populated areas, Sugar. The concentration camps in Germany were the Germans, the Nazis, who had become like vicious animals, corralling human beings into a concentration camp and slaughtering them like they were some kind of animals. And we are talking about civilized people corralling people into a place. Gaza is not a corral, it's not a concentration camp. They have freedom to bring in all kinds of goods, and Israel is not stopping them, Sugar. Maybe if somebody was sending missiles on you, you would try to block these people from getting more missiles. It only makes sense. But do you think the UN and Mr. John Prescott mentions that to the world? No, Sugar. I don't understand what in the world is going on in these people's heads. This is creating hate in the world, Sugar. And you know Grandma Sunshine is about love. We have to look up to heaven, and we have to just say to ourselves, God in heaven, grace us with your understanding that people shouldn't go around disgracing history, comparing a human tragedy where they were purposeful and they were aiming to hurt civilians like Hamas is doing. But the UN doesn't take action, and that's just what happened in those times too. But an atom bomb was dropped in Hiroshima, and 140,000 civilians died to end that war, Sugar. Israel is trying to survive, and yet it has anti-Semitism from all sides, from people that they hold all kinds of fancy names. And I believe that that's disrespectful, and I have to open my mouth to the World Report, because this is creating hostilities and animosity in the world, and Grandma Sunshine is about creating love. and stopping the hate, the klipas. I believe in Kabbalah, sugar. And when you are negative, like Mr. Prescott and all those Arab leaders that are one-sided, let's take out of the equation the missiles going around all over you and your country for one moment, and let's take the equation of tunnels that are going into your country for terror. If we take that out of the equation, we get people being killed. Sugar, you know why those people are being killed. You know, sugar, that Israel has a Torah, and Israel is not like John Prescott and the Arabs who have no Torah, who teach mercy and compassion of God. And what do you think they say in their temples, sugar? Why don't you educate the world, sugar? And why don't you take a Jewish Siddur, which is some kind of book, a prayer book, and why don't you take an English copy of it, sugar? Because, sugar, it's all about love. It's all about trying to become merciful and compassionate. Trying to end a war without people getting hurt. Israel had no choice but to do what they did. And sugar, when you take all that equations out of the equation why they went there to begin with, then you are just hurting humanity because you are bringing hatred in the world. But that's not the reason why Israel went there. That's not those Palestinians who say that they created a massacre. It's not true, sugar. And God wants you to know the truth. From Grandma Sunshine, I want love in this world. And by giving a one-sided equation like CNN and BBC and Mr. John Prescott and comparing Gaza to a concentration camp where Jews were killed, it's like taking a sword and putting it in the heart of Israel and the Jewish people. And that is so disgusting. That is so disrespectful for humanity. When Israel is trying to make peace, Mr. Prescott. And what are you doing to make peace, Mr. Prescott? Are you trying to give goods to Gaza? Are you trying to teach the Arabs not to blow themselves up and commit suicide bombers? Are you trying to teach the Arab officers not to say that we should have a day of rage? Are you trying to do something, sugar, to bring love in this world instead of spreading hatred and comparing this to the Holocaust? Shame on you, Mr. Prescott. Gaza is not like a concentration camp, and the Israelis are not like Nazis. And to even say that, it's like so disrespectful. Can you imagine mothers being happy that their children blew themselves up to kill innocent lives? Do you think Jewish people, mothers, are like that? You know a Jewish mother is a loving person. And that's how every single Israeli is, sugar. So, Mr. Prescott, I think you should go back and have a little education, and you should start teaching the world to respect each other. And I have to say that I'm accord with you, sugar, because we have to bring the world together in love, not hate. Ana bekoach gedulat yibincha tatir tzrura kabel rinat amcha sagvenu taharenu nora na gibor doshei yichudcha kivavat sham rem barchem tarem rachabem tzidkatcha tamid gamlem chasin kadosh berov tuvcha Nahel adatecha yachid ge'ei le'amcha pnei zochrei kidushatecha Shabbatenu kabel u'shema tzakatenu yodea talumot Baruch Shem kevod malchuto le'olam va'ed. Thank you so much, America and the world, for listening to Grandma Sunshine. Let's bring love in this world, not hatred, sugar. And let's not compare any tragedy of any suffering, what people go through, and especially Gaza could be a place of beauty, and Israel could give their supplies. They have never stopped humanitarian aid. They have never stopped people bringing things to Gaza people. And you know what, sugar? Look in the West Bank. Did they build hospitals? Do those people that compare Israel to Nazis and the concentration camp, did they build hospitals for their own people, sugar? No, they put missiles inside, in tunnels inside homes, sugar. They kill people in their back when they're not looking. And they make the whole world have the hate. And sugar, if we let militants around the world build the hate and create in our minds some type of world of hatred in there and let it keep us of all this negativity come inside of us, soon we are going to just corrupt the world and it will fall apart, sugar. So let's build this world a loving place. Like Grandma Sunshine always says, when you're happy and you feel blessed, you can't be depressed, sugar. Thank you so much for listening to Grandma Sunshine.